Nearly half of the western U.S. is made up of public land, much of which is open to hunting. Literally hundreds of millions of acres of public land that hold some of the most beautiful and diverse landscapes on Earth, and it's ours to enjoy and protect. To some, it's nothing more than massive amounts of empty space represented by various colors on a large map. But there are those of us that see it in a different light altogether. Its crisp, clean air revives us. Its stunning beauty inspires us. Its waters heal us. Its mountains test us. And the animals we hunt within it feed us in more ways than one. These are our nation's public lands, of which we must never take for granted.
You may have heard my name before.
Randy and I.
Randy had been with me every step of the way.
It's our first day here in Wyoming. Randy and I came in yesterday.
Clean mess. Get your nut off, Randy. Think we can get two in here, Randy?
My name is Randy Rockey, a producer and videographer for the show. A lot of times, I'm that other guy in the shot, putting meat in a tree, or setting up camp, or being a stand-in when Nate takes the camera. That's me. That empty tent, it's usually mine. I've been with the Western Hunters since it began, and it's given me the opportunity to film and travel with some great hunters across the West. My job is to get the shot, even when filming's the last thing on my mind.
This is one of the parts of video that Randy and I can't figure out how to show because it just wouldn't be very much fun to watch what is going to happen between now and the next time we turn that camera on, because it's going to be miserable.
Our goal has always been to make a show that captures the experience of what we do and how we do it. It's about the adventure and the struggle of public land hunting in the West. It's about long hikes with heavy packs and cold backcountry nights. It's about making it over the next ridge. It's about the one that got away. And more often than not, it's about the things you can't even see. Failure and achievement, success and pain, reflection and peace. These are the things that give a season meaning, and this is why we make this show. This episode, I'll be taking you through a few of my favorite moments from this season. Times when the story is about much more than harvesting an animal. When a hunt becomes as much about searching for solitude as it does finding a deer. Times when uncertainty and fear creep in because we've gone too far. Times when we're able to share what we love with the people we care about. And those special moments when patience and persistence intersect, resulting in a trophy of a lifetime. Over the course of a season, we experienced so many incredible moments that it would be nearly impossible to recount them all. But here are a few. There's a place in the heart of bear country, a mountain that's given us unforgettable adventures. It's humbled us, disappointed us, provided for us, and challenged us in every way possible. It's often a place where success and hard work don't go hand in hand. But more than anything, it's a place where the hunt is far from over when you finally get an elk on the ground.
Hopefully the bears are just going to sleep tonight because it is pitch dark. Hopefully this tracking job is short.
Good sign. He already smashed into a tree. And he's only probably ran about 60 yards, so hopefully it means he's getting disoriented. Oh man. I don't feel near as scared now. I should. I'm getting ready to be covered in blood, but part of the fear was just not knowing. He didn't go very far. He ran the whole way. This place Randy and I keep coming to, Every time I come in here, I don't know why I do it. It's just a brutal place to hunt. There's not a ton of elk. It's really rugged. There's a lot of bears, a lot of things that make me uncomfortable, and feeling like you survived something incredible. I don't know. It's an incredible feeling to come to a place like this and go on a successful elk hunt, but we're only about halfway through. We gotta call a packer, butcher this guy. If we're lucky, we'll get him out here tomorrow. Here he is, beautiful bull. It's just starting to feel like I didn't know if we were gonna be able to get it done or not. Thrilled with this guy. Well, it's 9:30. It's probably a little bit late to be calling somebody I don't know very well, but I'm desperate. I'm gonna give my packer a call, and hopefully they can come in here tomorrow and pick us up. Come on, have service. Hey Roy, this is Nate Simmons. How are you doing? Hey, sorry to call you so late. I just wanted to call because I just recovered an elk. Okay, thanks a lot, Roy. Bye. We got a packer. That's good news. We're just a long ways in here, and these are gigantic animals. We'll get started on quartering him, hang the quarters in a tree, and then and then we gotta go find the trail and pick our way back to camp. It's gonna be a long night, but that's awesome to know that we have a packer. Well, it's 20 after 12. Finally just got all the meat in the tree, and we're gonna load up our packs and start we got about a 2.5 mile hike back to camp. As long as we don't lose the trail, it'll probably only take us about an hour and a half or something, so it could be worse.
This hunt pushes me to many limits, and I think that's why I keep coming back. But sometimes I wonder about the fine line between fear and wisdom. I don't ever want to be paralyzed by fear in any aspect of life, and certainly not elk hunting, but I don't wish to be a fool either. I think that without at least a small amount of fear, I would be a fool. Yet to some extent, I think my fears are what draw me here more than anything. I'm not sure what that means really, but it reinforces the fact that hunting often involves far more than simply the pursuit of an animal.
Hunting high country mule deer in Wyoming is hard to beat, but so is the will of backcountry hunters in this state. This is a place where we're almost always guaranteed to find other public land hunters, matching us mile for mile and pound for pound in our packs. It's a place where plan B, C, and D are often necessary, and even when the hunting can let us down, the breathtaking views never do.
While I am searching for deer, I'm just as much searching for solitude. And while other hunters make it tough to find either, they are only up here because they love the same things I do, so I can't justify complaining about them being here. After all, this isn't my peak, it's everyone's. And any hunter that works their butt off to come up here deserves my respect. But that doesn't mean I have to stay. This will be the first time I walk away from this camp without a deer on my back. It's time to just reflect and be thankful for those times and memories, and remind myself it's still only the second day of September. And somewhere out there is a buck that no one else knows about, and that's where I want to be.
We've never had to leave our original spot ever. It's always been good to us, but it's just overrun with people. So we're kind of bummed out about that, but we're also really excited to check out some new country
and see what we can find. Well, it's 7 o'clock, and Randy and I have been staring at this just gorgeous looking basin for about 4 hours. Trying to stay focused on deer, but that's distracting. I'm a little bit disappointed that we haven't seen more buck. Well, actually, we did see a big buck straight across from us, but there was a huge black bear eating it, so something killed it, and that black bear's chewing on the carcass, and it looks like a big buck. Like, you can see its rack sticking up there. It's like a 29-inch wide, like 180-inch buck. That's about all we've seen for deer. And then we've seen 2 other bow hunters looking like they had just got water, and they were headed up exactly to where Randy and I were camped the last 2 nights. So there's like 8 bow hunters on this mountain that I know of. And that's just, I don't know if it's too many or not, but it's more than I really care to deal with. So we're glad it's still dark, and hopefully we turn up a couple more big bucks in the spot.
To many of us, hunting is more than a sport. It's a way of life that shapes who we are. It's passed down and shared by family and friends. It's a kind of backcountry bond that can only be formed when man and beast face off in the wild. Nate and his dad Dennis share the type of father-son relationship all outdoorsmen could hope for. It's grown around the campfire and continues to this day as they chase game together on public land.
Aside from my dad's tent and his coffee, there is another key ingredient he never forgets, and that's someone to share his time hunting with. And on this hunt, it's me. We don't get to spend as much time together as we would like, but there is something about time spent hunting together that is far more potent than time spent doing anything else. And that makes this animal and this land all the more meaningful.
Well, there he is. He's a great buck, definitely in the high 70s. Look at huge mass. Big burrs up here, and look how wide he is. He's just a great buck, and I couldn't be more happy with him. This is a 4th day of the hunt. Put a lot of road miles on, finding different spots, and we like this one the best because it's just beautiful. It's got beautiful rock formations. We haven't seen another hunter, and we've seen this buck 2 days ago and said, well, we'll keep that one in mind. And today when I got up, I decided, I'm going to take one of those mid-70s bucks, and this one's going to end up in the high 70s and maybe even 80. So we're just tickled that we found him and made a great shot. He went right, just folded up, and he's just a beautiful buck. Just so much character, just happy with him.
To the untrained eye and unimaginative soul, this country may look barren and of little delight. But to some, it's an oasis, a place to rest and breathe deeply, a place to be challenged harvesting the wily fruits of the field. It's a place to share and value along with the native wild animals that continue to roam free. It's a place to connect with what's important in life, and to disconnect from what's not.
John Muir once wrote, "The mountains are calling, and I must go." If you've ever traveled to British Columbia, you surely know the feeling. Chris has hunted there the last 3 years and has come home each time with a different animal and a greater sense of awe for the country. This year was no different as the mountains again called his name and he returned home from the hunt with the trophy of a lifetime.
I can speak for the whole group and say, finally. I mean, we've been stuck in that cabin for 3 days. Ron and Colton and Kyle and I have just about wore out a deck of cards. We've played different games, tried different rules, and we peek our heads out. Finally, it finally broke. We got a little snowfall obviously this morning, and it's cold. It's only September 2nd. Last year, our first day of this hunt was like this, kind of cold and a little bit of snow on the ground, and that one turned out well. So we'll call it a good omen. But now we're gonna have to press up into this wind. Hopefully it'll die down a little bit, but we finally get to see something and finally get to get a little exercise. Well, the weather gods beat the heck out of us. As soon as we got here, this fog just piled in now on top of us, and it's pea soup fog right now. Can't see anything, so we're gonna hold out. Maybe it'll blow out and lift for us. We'll get some blasting this afternoon. We got another big cloud coming over the mountain. It's gonna blast us again. It's cold and wet. Hopefully that sun breaks out today. Ron spotted a great bear down here. It's like a grizzly colored brown black bear. You know, we've got right now the rifle bear season's open and archery deer season's open, so I think I could actually shoot the bear with a bow too, but I think honestly in these weather conditions we're gonna have to be like within 100 yards with a rifle to make sure we can get a good, make sure we get a good ethical shot. But we're gonna try to work our way over the ridge, across from him, try to keep him in view and see what this weather does. Obviously you can see it's getting nasty on us really quick. That was an intense 30 minutes. I mean, we started up on top. We knew the wind was howling, obviously. It was screaming. But we felt like when we got down low, we'd get into a position where the wind wasn't so bad. And we got here, it was just classic. Every time I thought I had a shoulder, he'd turn the other way, or Kyle couldn't quite see him with the camera. Finally, he gave us the shot. And everything looked good. Everybody feels good about it, but it's a bear. So we're gonna be cautious, sneak down there, and hopefully we skin him. Now we're getting some more snow, but it's just an amazing day in British Columbia. This is truly a bear of a lifetime. We thought from the moment Ron saw this bear and we all looked at it, everywhere we said, that's a big bear, that's a big bear. But any of you have bear hunted, looks can be deceiving sometimes. There is no disappointment here. This bear is huge and he is old. I mean, when you look at the size of these paws and then the color of this bear, it doesn't surprise me that somebody would see that track and then see this bear and think there's grizzlies here. I mean, this bear is huge and so old. Teeth are basically gone. He's definitely at the end of his lifespan. This is my second bear, and I've probably, most likely, just killed the biggest bear I'll ever kill in my life. This is my third trip to British Columbia, and I said it every single time, and I say it again. Just make the time. Make the time and come up here.
It seems like every hunting season comes to an end as quickly as it began. As winter sets in across the west and the last shots echo from the hills, an icy stillness marks our departure from the woods. Once we've returned home with our tired legs and trophies, and when all that remains of the season are memories and meat, we can only be thankful for what we're left with. For many Western hunters, the struggle is a trophy in its own right. The weight in our packs and the miles on our boots revive our spirits, while cold backcountry nights temper our souls. And now that it's over, we're left missing the very things that made it all so difficult. We're left longing for a chance to reunite with the challenge of the hunt, counting the days until we can return again, to find the animals we seek, and meet them in their mountain home.